We are the fourth. We are St. Louis.
This is St. Louis Cardinals baseball. A rainy day here in Cincinnati as we get you set for game number 3. The St. Louis Cardinals and the Cincinnati Reds. Jim Hayes is here. That's Al Raboski. I'm Dan McLaughlin. And the Cardinals are trying to make it 3 wins in a row.
Yeah, they really have to come out here and win. They're going to have to do something they haven't done this season, and that's beat a left-hander. They've struggled against left-handed pitching. Today, they'll get a chance to do it with a lot of bench players.
Brandon Finnegan will get the call today for the Cincinnati Reds. And for the Cardinals, Miles Michaelis. Baseball is coming up. Mix and match any 2 items for just $3. Better burgers, better prices, Steak and Shake. By Missouri Baptist Medical Center. Doctors call it world-class medicine. You'll call it Mobap. And by Toyota. Let's go places. Joe Morgan statue just outside the Great American Ballpark. The Cardinals offense has come alive in the first 2 games. They look for a series win in the Queen City coming up on Fox Sports Midwest. This game on time. Probably will rain throughout. Harder rain expected later this afternoon here in Cincinnati. The Cardinals a record of 7-7 after 2 wins over the Reds. Tommy Pham leads it off. Then Paul DeJong and Jose Martinez. Marcelo Zuna, Yadier Molina, Harrison Bader, Jairo Munoz, Greg Garcia, and Miles Michaelis. So a lot of the bench players getting a chance to play today. And they will face the 24-year-old Brandon Finnegan, former Kansas City Royal, came over in the Johnny Cueto deal, and he's making his season debut.
Don't want to correct you, Dan, but he turns 25 today. And you see his arsenal.
Sounds like you just did.
Well, he's 25 today and pitching on his birthday. Of course, he just came off the disabled list. And boy, that is something that Finnegan has done on quite a routine basis.
Well, I did my homework. I found out he was born at 6:34 p.m. So still 24.
I stand corrected.
I had to correct you back. I have no idea when he was born, Al.
Well,
but I get it.
This sounded good enough.
Our Toyota keys to the game with Al Raboski.
Well, like you said, we want to show your stuff talking about the 3 extra bench players that are in the lineup today. Go out there, and of course, as we said about Finnegan, that he is coming off the disabled list. He did have a 98 pitch start, rehab start, and so be patient. See if you can't get that pitch count up high real early and get into that bullpen. Their late bullpens are good arms, but middle relief can be problematic.
Left bicep strain, first start since June 26th of last year. Tommy Pham very good against left-handed pitching. And it's 2 balls and no strikes. Finnegan, he pitched at TCU. He is the only player to ever appear the College World Series and Major League World Series in the same year.
Let's take a look and see if he's making contact with the rubber. Looks like he's on that extreme third base side of the rubber, just his toe, and you could debate whether he's even on the rubber. No contact.
That's as extreme as we have seen.
Right. And it looks like he's wearing rubber cleats. Does that look like the same thing to you?
Yep. A 3-1 pitch to Tommy Pham. Man, a leadoff walk. Dubs Tire and Auto Centers around the horn. Duvall, Hamilton, and Irvin. That trio in the outfield. Pennington, Peraza, Jeanette, and Votto on the infield. And Tucker Barnhart received his Gold Glove prior to today's first pitch, and he's behind the plate. Here's Paul DeYoung. He moves into the second spot in the lineup and ahead of the red-hot Jose Martinez. And another pitch high.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about. Be patient with him. You know, you would think where he's set up on the rubbers so where he could get inside on these right-handed batters. Cardinals only hitting 167 against lefties.
And again, it's high. 2 balls and no strikes. Everything has been up here early on.
Cody Reed was scheduled to make this start, but when he pitched the other night in relief, and they brought Finnegan back for the start today.
Temperatures have dropped from when we first got to the ballpark. It is 63 degrees. There's a strike, 2-1. The deal that they made when they traded Johnny Cueto. They got 3 lefties. They thought Finnegan could be a mainstay in their rotation for years to come. They liked Reed a lot as well. The 2-1 pitch. Instead of check on Pham over at first base. Tommy with 3 steals this year.
Remember Finnegan, when he was with Kansas City, was pitching out of the bullpen, but he wanted to be in the rotation. So it was a trade that he liked, but hasn't been able to stay healthy.
Up and away, 3-1. Paul DeYoung, 29 home runs in his first 122 games in the bigs. Most by any Cardinals player in their first 122 games. Homered here 2 nights ago. The 3-1 pitch. Back-to-back walks. Arcia drive to success. One of the hottest players in baseball. It's carried over to the series against the Reds. It's Jose Martinez. He's 6 for 9. Home run. Has driven in 6. And he's doubled twice. First time ever facing this left-hander. And leads the National League with a .375 batting mark. He's in the top 10 of just about every offensive category right now in the National League.
Great story.
Remember, the Cardinals wrapping up the homestand against Milwaukee struggled with runners in scoring position. That has not been the case in the first 2 games. They've gone 7 for 23.
And they've had lots of opportunities.
Here's the 0-1 pitch to Jose Martinez. Right now, Finnegan, that was a off-speed pitch, but really struggling to find the strike zone with his fastball. Fastball location. We talk about it all the time.
That used to be the simplest thing. Never heard that decades ago.
And when you're close to the plate, but after back-to-back walks, you don't get those types of calls.
Exactly right. You know, most left-handers throw across their body. Another reason why he's at that extreme edge of the third base side of the rubber. And he really just hasn't had that ability to get inside. He's leaving everything up and away.
The 2-1 pitch. 2-2. Good fastball there at 93. Reds lost their 6 in a row last night. Worst record in the major leagues at 2-11. Another loss today. That would produce their worst start since 1931. Martinez hits it out of play.
Boy, Hamilton, the center fielder, shading towards right a little bit. Big gap out in left center, but with his speed, he can make up for a lot of lost ground.
Martinez has been at the start of a couple of big rallies in this series. 7 runs in the 7th inning of game 1. Last night, 4 runs in the 4th. He was a leadoff man in both those innings. The 2-2. Full count.
Just by looking at the first 3 batters, you get the indication that we will get into that bullpen early.
Already up to 16 pitches. Martinez pops it up. Shallow right. Philip Irvin is over. Pham tagging up from second to third, and the throw is offline.
Now, Irvin's got a strong throwing arm, but I won't say it's not accurate. And there, he assumed that they were not going to tag up. That's a real mistake by the young right fielder, former #1 draft pick of the Reds.
He's had 3 of those throws, and all 3 have been up the line.
Way up the line, you're right.
Marcell Ozuna, the BJC Healthcare difference maker, comes in riding a 12-game hitting streak into play this afternoon. Home run in game 1 of the series. 4 shy of his career high of 16. Off-speed pitch and a good one. Remember when Finnegan first faced the Cardinals, he was pretty tough. And an ERA around 2 in 4 starts, was 2-0. One ball, 1 strike. I'm sure for these fans, it's very tough for them to get behind this team. The slow start, guys like Cueto and Leake, Frazier, they're all gone. Ozuna with a high fly ball lifted into right center field. Hamilton is over and makes the catch. Tommy Pham will tag up. DeYoung as well. 1-0 Cardinals here in the top of the first. Ozuna has driven in his 10th.
300 feet for the fly ball is probably enough, and he had plenty to spare. Guess who's coming up with the booze?
Yadier Molina with 5 home runs. He's had good numbers against this lefty, 5 for 10. The National League lead in home runs is Bryce Harper. He has 6. Yadi with 5. It's something small, won't show up in the box score in terms of a great play or a great moment, but Tommy Pham tagging up on a routine fly from right field delivers the Cardinals a 1-0 lead. And DeYoung tagging up on that play from first. Here's the 0-1. 1 ball, 1 strike.
And it's the little things like that that over the course of the year can make a difference in the win column.
And the Cardinals have really made a point of being more aggressive first to third, but also if they have the right guy with the speed like Tommy Pham, tagging up and taking the extra base. Here's a 1-1 pitch to Yadier Molina. Molina hits it sharply to short. Nice play by Peraza. Spun around and throws a strike to Votto. Hit it on the button, but right at Peraza. Ozuna the RBI. It's 1-0. Top of the first run, Miles Michaelis gets the call today. Record of 1-0. He's had 12 innings and no walks. We heard he was a control pitcher, and that has been the case so far. The Hyundai pitch arsenal, fastball, curve, slider, and the change.
And I think he's very happy that he's not facing the Milwaukee Brewers. Both his starts were against the Brew Crew.
Billy Hamilton at the top of the lineup. Then Barraza and Votto. Scooter Gennett will bat cleanup. Duvall, Barnhart, Urban, Pennington, and Finnegan. Billy Hamilton is one away from hit number 500 and career run number 300. The first pitch taken for a ball.
That's Munoz in about 8 feet inside on the grass over at third base, trying to get in the head of Hamilton. Trying to tell him don't bunt because we'll field it, but he was trying to show bunt there. Now he looks a little bit at Munoz.
Two and one. Be a slick playing surface here today. Ball will probably skip a little bit. Certainly in the outfield, not covered by the tarp. Infield was covered till about a half hour ago. 2-2. I watch Michaelis, and when I see him throw, Al, it just seems to be easy. No ball really coming out of his hand. Curveball, and he struck him out.
Well, that's the thing. He's got good stuff. You know, he was a big, raw pitcher. Take a look at this breaking ball. You don't want to throw him up there all the time, but in this case, it gets a called strike. But Michaelis, I was talking with Mike Maddox, and he had him before he went to Japan. He said for 2 months, when he was with Texas, all they tried to do was teach him how to throw. You know, big, raw talent, but he really threw the ball from a high, extreme position over his head, really arched his back, and they tried to get him more of this 3/4.
Certainly the arch in the back is no longer.
Sure. And you could tell that over in Japan, he really learned how to back off.
Ground ball, DeYoung to his left. Peraza retired for out number 2. The defense today for the Cardinals, around the horn, presented by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. Ozuna, Pham, and Bader in the outfield. Munoz, DeYoung, Garcia, Martinez on the infield, and Yadier Molina yet again behind the plate.
And what I mean by backing off is, yeah, he's a big, strong guy. He's got fastball capability of going 97, 98, but he can live and has better command and control when he's down around 92.
A slow start for Joey Votto in terms of power numbers, hitting 271. He's driven in 4. And a ground ball that's chopped to second. Greg Garcia with the play. And the Reds go in order. 1-0 St. Louis. Cardinal fans, you can't catch a game on TV. You can stream games live on your mobile device. Download the Fox Sports Go app. Log in, stream the Cardinals, presented by T-Mobile. Harrison Bader is start, hitting an even 100. Munoz on deck, and then Greg Garcia. Bader hits it down the left field line. That ball is hooking and just foul.
I can see that jump on that first pitch. And again, by the way, through 22 pitches in the first inning, only 9 were strikes.
Well, your key to the game was make him work, and they did that in the first inning. No balls and 2 strikes. I've been looking at some of the box scores at Memphis. Not only are they winning every night, they are dominating teams. I mean, dominating.
They're called the 27 Yankees of AAA.
That is pulled foul.
Very close. Are you sure, Angel? Yep, he's sure.
Good call. Just missed a home run, just missed extra bases. And an 0-2. Grounds to second. Scooter Jeanette with it. Bader racing down the line.
Like to see that, don't you?
Brings in Jairo Munoz. If you have a 4-man bench, which the Cardinals do, you've got to have versatility with those on the bench. Munoz allows that, playing third, short, second, and the key is center field.
Yeah, he can play all 3 outfield positions.
Munoz with his first major league extra base hit last night. Pinch hit double.
Mike's son gave a little scouting report on Munoz to his dad. And he said, oh, he's a great center fielder. And Mike said, are you sure you're talking about the right guy? He's an infielder. He goes, Dad, he can play center field with the best of them. And then Mike, after spring training, realized, he goes, I think you put him at any position.
He's got a little pop. He showed that in spring training. Mike's son Tate is at AA this year for Boston.
Real thrill for Mike, whereas Tate got a chance to play against the Cardinals in spring training a couple different times.
Here's a 1-2 pitch to Munoz. Did not go. These two teams really want to get this game in, with more rain coming in, but we're anticipating rain all day tomorrow. And a strikeout of Munoz. The first strikeout for Finnegan this afternoon. After the ball game tomorrow, the Cardinals will head to Wrigley Field beginning on Monday night. Watch every out-of-market regular season game live at home, in the office, on the go. MLB.tv. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv for details. With 2 outs, here's Garcia. I'd like to say it's another late arriving crowd here at the Great American Ballpark, but I'm not sure that applies.
Well, with the weather report today, I mean, you could understand that some people living a distance away may have abandoned their plans. But sure glad we're playing baseball right now.
And the 0-2 pitch now to Garcia. 1-2. Michaelis big home run hitters on deck. The check swing and just got a piece of it. Once the game starts, it is in the hands of the umpires. So they can bring out the tarp, call the delay, but it's in their hands and out of the folks here in Cincinnati.
Bill Miller, right there is your crew chief. He's at second base today.
Greg Garcia with a drive into deep right. Gone! Garcia with a home run. First of the year for Greg Garcia. He has driven in 2 here in 2018, and it's 2-0 Cardinals.
Only left-handed hitter in the lineup other than Michaelis, and Michaelis does bat right-handed, but I mean he sits there and he jumps on this ball. Like, breaking ball just left middle in the inner part of the plate, and he just jumped on it. You were right about the home run hitters coming up, Dan.
Absolutely.
You knew it, didn't you?
When you think Greg Garcia and Miles Michaelis 8 and 9 in the lineup, you think power. It was 100 miles per hour off the bat of Greg Garcia. Went 354 feet, just a line drive home run. And Michaelis hits it out of play. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Goes to show you, if you make a good pitch and get anybody out, you make a careless one, bad location, I'll hit it out.
Off of Finnegan to short, barehanded by Peraza. Nice play. That was the first career home run against a left-hander in the career of Greg Garcia. Line them up, the high fives. Hopefully. The first home run in the big leagues off a lefty for Greg Garcia to make it 2-0. Jim Hayes, we talked about it last night. Greg Holland might be used. Wasn't the case. How about today?
Yeah, Bud Norris closed it out for the Cardinals last night, Danny, and that took some people by surprise. Mike Matheny saying after the game he didn't go with Holland, saying that he isn't quite ready for the closer's role. Holland told me last night he agrees, saying, I'm not as sharp as I expected to be. I asked Mike Matheny before the game how he plans to get Holland back on track. Mike said he's just got a pitch. Today will be a day we need to get him in there. We need to continue to get him opportunities so he gets to the point where he's ready to come in and do what he normally does. Dan Mike said it's like spring training for Holland, so they're going to ease him into the role, no back-to-back outings, and they're going to be very careful to make sure he's not pushed along too quickly.
Jimmy, how is he fitting in quickly with his new teammates here in St. Louis?
I think he's enjoying it, but I think he's disappointed by the fact that he admittedly is not as sharp as he's used to being. He's used to being the guy they call upon in the 9th inning, and he's hoping to get back there quickly, Dan.
All right, good stuff as always. Right over Michaelis, a hanging breaking ball to Scooter Jeanette, but positioned perfectly to Young, and there's one away.
I mean, you almost get drilled by a ball, and then you expect it to go into the outfield. Nice to turn around and see your shortstop scoop it up and get it. And that's a good thing, too, is the ground balls we're seeing off the bat.
There's Adam Duvall hitting 116.
We are catching Duvall at the right time.
And the Reds in general at the right time. Suarez is out. Schebler is out. Killed the Cardinals, those two, last year. Votto hasn't caught his stride yet. And it's a team that is really struggling. A manager that's under fire. This probably is the worst start they could envision to their season with the injuries and the lack of wins. Here's a 2-0. Brian Price was the pitching coach under Dusty Baker, became the manager. They've had 3 consecutive 90+ loss seasons. And a strike.
Well, it's tough when you don't have a deep farm system and you have a lot of injuries. Kind of every year, the same pitchers go on the disabled list. Really can't. His first walk.
First base runner of the day for Cincinnati. And it brings in Tucker Barnhart.
And we talked about it, you don't want to walk anybody in this ballpark because everybody has home run threat.
First walk of the year by Miles Michaelis. Last 9 games, Barnhart hitting .304. As I mentioned earlier, picked up his 2017 Gold Glove before the game today. Beat out Yadier Molina and Buster Posey. And Tucker Barnhart, Gold Glove winner of the National League as a catcher a season ago.
Excellent blocker. You know, throws out base runners. Did a nice job last year.
That's a foul ball off his foot. The Cardinal uniform, considered one of the best in all of sports. The birds on the bat. And then the stirrups, the way that Michaelis is wearing his uniform today. A lot of fans love that look.
At one time, to wear the Cardinal uniform proudly, you had to show 3 stripes. And I think George Hendrick kind of stopped that.
George would fit in today's game the way that he would
absolutely
wear the pant leg low.
All the way down. Silent George.
And the 1-2 pitch. George, a part of the 1982 World Series champion Cardinals. Longtime coach in Tampa Bay.
Yeah, and it's kind of misleading when we talk about Silent George. When he was with Cleveland, you know, he was betrayed one time, something he said, and then he made the edict that he would never talk to the media again. But he would talk to the guys. He just wouldn't talk baseball with them. He'd ask them how their family is, how was your winter, but come to baseball, you know my rule. And he was consistent with it. So you couldn't really, you know, you have to respect his his wish.
You were good with the media.
Sure, they have a job to do, you know. If you talk to the media, you can control
the message.
The message, yeah. You know, you send the message, not somebody in trying to interpret.
Here's a 1-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. That pitch at 96. Part of the Cardinals step camp is media training, so that when the players do get to the big leagues, or in dealing with the media, the various towns that they may be in.
Do you contribute to that?
I do.
I was going to say, it'd be an excellent.
The 2-2 pitch. And it's popped up. Molina throws the mask. Who wants it? It'll be Yadier Molina. It was really interesting how I gave my 2 cents and then kind of conducted a little Q&A. But the Cardinals during the step camp have Orlando Palmeiro come back and visit with the players. But in this particular session, it was a couple of closers in there, which I thought was really a key, because closers, as you know, if you get a save, well, that's what you were supposed to do.
Right.
If you blow a save, you're the GOAT, and all the media comes to you. So Braden Looper was there, Jason Isringhausen, and Ryan Ludwig, and their thoughts on it and how they taught and how they teach talking to the media. It was very interesting to how they said, look, as a player, you control the message.
That's it.
Get what you want out without really necessarily answering a pointed question. Here's the 0-1. I thought Tony La Russa was great dealing with the media. And it's shocking when we visit with other teams, they'd say, man, what was La Russa like all those years? We'd say, incredible.
Yeah, I mean, Tony welcomed you to question the strategy. Now, he also had a few hours to think about it.
Yep.
He's very intelligent.
That's popped up. And then sometimes Jim Hayes would take a towel and dab Tony's face if he had a little extra shaving cream on it. Those were the best. Finished. They bring out a veteran of our military to be honored, recognized, standing ovation every single time.
Every player turns around and acknowledges.
Yep.
Usually they're on the home dugout.
Put them up on the video board.
That and Redzilla or Godzilla, whatever they're, the cart that goes around shoots to the fans.
There's a base hit for Tommy Pham.
You don't know what I'm talking about?
I have no clue.
I will point it out to you. We'll see.
What, shoots the hot dogs or?
Yeah. But it's like rapid fire.
Oh, I do know what you're talking about.
Tommy?
Not just the simple one where you got to put it down. I mean, this is boom, boom, boom,
Oh,
boom,
sure.
boom. Yeah,
I mean,
okay.
it just runs through a cycle and reaches the upper deck.
I've been so enthralled by it that
You forgot about
I
it.
forgot about it.
We've been seeing Cardinal runs at about the same rate, huh?
Pham is leaning. Hopefully we'll visit with Jerry Kerr again this summer. Jerry does the SEGs for vets. It puts veterans of war that come back that have a lot to deal with. They put them in segways. Those that have been injured in war, and it changes their life. And had a chance to play in their golf tournament this last year. I promised Jerry I was going to do it. It was an emotional day, to say the least. Pham is running in a very good jump.
Oh, he had that stolen. Could have walked out there standing up, but Paul fouls the pitch off. Watch this, takes off.
One ball and one strike on DeYoung. Walked back in the first inning.
Tommy stole his third base last night.
It's our friend Mike Kelly that
Yes.
puts together the event for SEGs for Vets. Mike, the longtime voice of Missouri athletics, one of the best voices in all of college sports. 2 balls and 1 strike here on DeYoung.
Throw to first here. My favorite signals used to flip the thumb, knock a guy down. Now it's throw to first base. Game has changed.
Two and two.
Talking to Paul a little bit yesterday, and he's kind of a little frustrated, but keeping a good attitude. Saying I'm not quite there. Still looking for an RBI other than hitting a home run.
The strikeout of DeYoung. Out number 1 here in the third. Don't miss the first Budweiser Bash of the season. That's coming up on April 24th, a Tuesday, in the new Budweiser Terrace. Get an autograph and a bobblehead from Andy Van Slyke. Tickets at cardinals.com/budbash. Jose Martinez, fly to right. First time up. Good play by Barnhart for ball 1. Wouldn't it be something if Jose Martinez winds up being an all-star this year? What a story that would be. It already is a great story.
It's a great story, and with the start that he's off to, just continue at this pace and he'll have to be there.
Man can hit. Now the defense, and he'll tell you this, it's a work in progress. Footwork, receiving the baseball. Talking with Jose yesterday, he said he never played first base prior to coming to St. Louis. Always was an outfielder. But to get his bat in the lineup, trying to figure out a new position. The 2-0 pitch, room to the right side, another good jump. And a stolen base for Tommy Pham. Jeanette, nice play to keep that on the infield.
No doubt about it. It's not one of the better throws from Barnhart, and he really needs to thank his second baseman saving this, saving the error. Another great jump, throwing from the knees. You see the ball sailing a little bit on, going towards the right side. I'm sure he didn't hurt himself a little bit.
Barnhart led all major league catchers last year, 28 caught stealing. RBI opportunity now for Jose Martinez. Two balls, two strikes. Big gap in left center. Tommy Pham started the game with a walk. Scored on the sac fly. Now a base hit, stolen base, the 2-2. A little bit low. And Finnegan up already to 53 pitches. Full count delivery. He walks his third in this game. It's the other aspect of this series, Al, thus far, the amount of walks the Cardinals have received.
Yeah, first game of the series was the first time they had more walks than strikeouts. Got to take advantage of it, and as we said, when you put people on base and then now they're hitting with runners in scoring position, that's why you win.
A pick off, and again Jeanette, a good play. Not including today, but the first two games, 18 runs, 25 hits. 6 home runs, 5 different players, a lot of walks, 13. Ozuna chops it left side, could be 2. Out at second, double play. Chevrolet, the #1 selling brand in the St. Louis area. Find yours at your Mid-America Chevy dealer. And by the new Cholula Buttery Jack, part of the Buttery Jack family, only at Jack in the Box. Cardinals with a 2-0 lead. Cotton Candy's out. Left side, DeYoung over. Nice play on the line.
Very nice play right here. You know, you see Munoz going back to third baseman, but from the angle, and look where DeYoung starts for him. He was way up the middle, so a nice long run, catches it, but it's the best angle right there for him to shortstop to get over there, and it was a fair ball. Very nice play, Paul. He doesn't take his offense to the field, does he?
Not at all. I think he's been a plus defender.
And truly one of my favorites. You know, just his attitude, just his appreciation for where he's at, the history of the game, the sport. Struggling now, but yet, you know, he's still holding water with his home runs.
1 ball and 2 strikes on Brandon Finnegan. 2-0 Cardinals. Sac fly. RBI by Marcell Ozuna. Home run by Greg Garcia. Chop to second. There's Garcia. Flips over to first for out number 2. Want to buy or sell tickets at the last minute? Get the StubHub app. You can grab 100% MLB verified tickets up until the first pitch. Sell your extras to another fan. The StubHub app today. Get it. Official partner of the Cardinals.
I was really intrigued when the Cardinals signed Michaelis. You know, big, strong kid, looks the part of a pitcher, had a plus arm, but really struggled at the Padres, where he did have 26 saves one year, pitching, you know, as a closer at AAA. But he goes to Japan and learns how to pitch, learns how to really take something off, not max out all the time. Been fun to watch him.
2-1.
See, he'll pitch several miles an hour slower than that 95-mile-an-hour fastball, but he can hump it up when he needs to. Kind of throw the timing off.
Seen him hit 98 on the gun.
Yeah. You know, he backs off, just tries to be efficient.
2-2. He jammed him. A 10-pitch inning for Miles Michaelis. Molina, Bader, and Munoz coming up. Kubota power stats. Home run in game 1. Opposite field game 2. 4 for 9, couple of home runs, and he's driven in 5. Grounded out to short first time up.
He's tied for second in the National League with those 5 home runs. Only trails Bryce Harper, who has 6.
He had 18 home runs a year ago. His launch angle, for those of you that are interested, increased by 5.5 degrees, and with that, the home runs. And he's 0 for 2. Now Bader. Finnegan has settled in a bit. Walked the first 2 men in the game. One came around to score, gave up a solo home run to Greg Garcia. Bader rips it foul. Boy, he's been close on some hits today.
His first time up. He ended up grounding out to second base, but just missed a home run by inches. Foul. Another extra base hit. Foul. Just almost inside the third base bag.
You know things are rough in Cincinnati when they boo the ball boy. Just got booed for not making that play on the ground ball hit by Bader. Hey, sports fans. The 1-1. Deep in the hole and a base hit for Bader.
The way Bader runs, I don't think even if Peraza would have stopped that ball, I don't think he could have thrown him out at first.
It's 2 very good at bats that he's had. Pham was aggressive. We'll see if Bader wants to do that as well. Missouri Lottery Fox Tracks.
It's that big swing. Doesn't get a real good jump out of the batter's box, but he is always hustling.
Pitch taken high.
Tell my grandson Wes, you know, it doesn't cost you anything to hustle. It's a sure way to stand out.
Does he listen?
Yes, he does.
Out of play, 1 ball, 1 strike. See, most fans know you as just this mean, menacing, mad Hungarian, but I know better. You're softy, Al. That's all there is to it.
You know, Jim Hayes was up here.
That's
I would change my reputation, and you know, you'd see what I'd do to a cat.
That's different. Now you're going to upset the folks from PETA. Tony La Russa, not happy with that last comment from you.
Well, how about if I say the cat?
Now that's better.
Our cat.
Jimmy the cat.
Jimmy the cat.
Man of the people, as we all know. One ball and 2 strikes. Here's a 1-2. Hit out of play. We'll do it again.
Thinking about Finnegan, the way he sets up on the rubber at extreme third base side. One of the arts of pitching is being able to pitch to your glove side.
Like that?
Well, Yeah,
far
I
as
mean,
him.
you know, the thing is everybody can throw a ball to your hand side, you know, which would be a right outside to a right-handed batter. But can you get both sides of the plate and get inside to a right-handed batter if you're left-handed? So he goes all the way on that rubber, not making contact with it, which is illegal. And that in an effort to get inside the righties. Right, he's doing it here with the lefty.
Good jump by Bader and a stolen base. Now the only problem with that is that first base is open. Michaelis on deck if the Reds elect to pitch around Greg Garcia, which they might.
They might, but that's part of the game too. And Greg also, you know, we know how disciplined he is.
A home run back in inning number 2. Pops it foul and out of play. Just a line drive shot off the bat of Greg Garcia, his first against a lefty in the big leagues. For Bader, that was his first stolen base of the year. 2 steals against Finnegan. As Finnegan goes behind the mound to use
Don't say it.
the Raboski. Up and in. Well, thank goodness that is behind the mound, and I know you've been a champion of the cause to make sure that that stays in Major League Baseball.
Oh yeah, the only thing they've done for the pitcher since 1968 is they put that little square there with little spikes coming up to clean your spikes, and it doesn't work.
Out to deep right, Greg Garcia, have a day, his second home run. How about that? He had never homered against a lefty. He's done it twice already today.
It's very interesting, but he was one of the guests of Jimmy the Cat Hayes, talking about staying ready when you get your opportunity, just make the most of it, and I'd say he's doing a pretty good job. The leader of the Congo line.
What do you think of that? You like it?
If they like it, I like it.
There you go.
You know, but it only looks good if you're winning.
1 ball, 1 strike, and Jim, you had the chance to visit with Greg before today's contest.
Yeah, talking about one of the rare opportunities to start for him, and he said when you're a guy coming off the bench, the main thing is you can't look at yourself as an everyday player because you might be asked to punt or give yourself up in a situation. So he says you make the most of the opportunities when you get to put some at-bats together, like when you're starting today. But he said the main thing is maybe if he gets 200 at-bats or something like that, he's hoping his numbers are where they should be. Otherwise, game to game, you're a bench player. The stats are going to be different.
The strikeout of Michaelis, a 4-run lead. 3 driven in already by Greg Garcia. Solo home run in the 2nd inning. First career multi-home run game. And this one, a 2-run shot moments ago. By the authority of the Cardinals, it may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cardinals.
Now, Danny, that's what we need in St. Louis. Shoots out a rubberized baseball so that it goes all the way to the upper deck. Bounces down.
Are you willing to invest in it?
Well, I'm thinking I might be able to drive that thing around.
Is that right?
Oh yeah, you know, reinvent myself.
I want the bullpen cards back. Here's the 0-1 pitch to Peraza. Let's speed up the game. Let's bring in the bullpen cards, and then we can sell sponsorships on top of it.
Never had a cart in St. Louis. Kansas City, we had sponsor of the car, you know.
Arizona, by the way, has a bullpen card for this year.
Yeah.
There's a strikeout, number 2 for Michaelis. Bring it back, I say. What do you think, Al? We could talk to the front office. We could invest in that cart, but we could sell it too. The sponsorships.
You're always the entrepreneur.
That's right. You got to think ahead. There's Joey Votto, grounded out to second. Lifts the ball in the air to left. Marcelo Ozuna. And that's out number 2. Saturday, May 5th. Make your furry friend happy. Take home a special Cardinals pet treat jar. It's courtesy of Purina. The pet treat jars are available upon gate entry. 30,000 pet lovers ages 16 and older. And you can get your tickets to the May 5th game. That's against the Cubs. Cardinals.com/promotions. It's a 10-pitch third. He's got 5 pitches to get 2 outs here in the 4th.
And that's what he's learned how to do. Be very economical and make good execution of your pitches. Not max out on every delivery.
It's almost like he's throwing darts.
Yeah, I mean, it really is. He's just out there dealing.
Fought off, little flare into shallow left, and the first hit for the Reds is a base hit by Scooter Gennett.
Last night, Weaver had a no-hitter going, and you just see a little, like you said, jam shot, just muscles it over the head of Munoz, well placed. You can get the first 2 guys out every inning and then keep a guy to a single. You're going to be well on your way to a shutout inning.
Here's Adam Duvall. Clouds starting to move in again here at the Great American Ballpark. 2 outs and a runner at first. Duvall walked back in the second. Sends a high fly ball out to center. Tommy Pham with just enough room. A 9-pitch inning for Miles Michaelis. 4-0 Cardinals. The top of the lineup, and here's Tommy Pham. He's been on base twice. AARP this season against lefties. The take on today. And Tommy's had pretty good numbers. As you mentioned, team-wide, though, the Cardinals had struggled coming in against left-handed pitching.
And they came in batting just 167 against lefties. We know that'll change.
The 2-0 pitch. Hit out of play.
But isn't it funny, Danny? You sit here and you look at it and say, the Cardinals should really mash against left-handed pitching because it's predominantly a right-handed lineup. And then now today you got one left-hander in the lineup, Garcia, and he's 2 for 2 with first multi-home run game of his career.
3-1. Pitch count up to 78. I would assume they're going to try to get him one more inning, and that might be it.
Fourth up, 2.
Inside corner, 3-2.
He did throw 98 pitches over the weekend in a rehab start.
Three-two pitch. Pham fights it off and a base hit into right field. There'll be a huge Cardinal fan back home, and this will put a smile on his face. This base hit by Tommy Pham. He's a tour guide at Busch Stadium. Recently had a fall and hurt his shoulder. And we have well wishes for Fred Peacock as he recovers from a recent fall. And Fred, get well quickly, and we'll see you at Busch Stadium very soon. That pitch taken high by DeYoung, who has walked and also struck out back in the third. The Cardinals have a 4-0 lead. They've received a pair of walks, a couple of home runs hit by Garcia, and 5 base hits total. Jammed him. Pham advancing to second base.
Thinking about Fred. How about a salute out to all the ushers and usherettes at Busch Stadium, the friendliest in all of baseball. And we hear so often, you know, wonderful stories about fans and what they think of some of the ushers and usherettes and how accommodating they are and helpful.
Many St. Louis natives grew up Cardinal fans. There's a waiting list, by the way, to be an usher at the ballpark. But good wishes to Fred Peacock as he recovers. Pham is running, and he is safe at third. Stolen base number 5 for Tommy Pham, and his second this afternoon.
He's got 3 in the series, 4 on the year, or excuse me, 5 on the year now. He just picks him blind again.
Infield in. And a ball in the dirt to Jose Martinez. Came up with runners at first and second, back in the first. Fly to right. And he walked back in the third. It's a season high 3 steals for the Cardinals today.
And Jose leads the team in RBIs. Great opportunity here.
It's the 4th time in Pham's career that he's had 3 steals in a game.
Key is getting a man over to third base, less than 2 outs.
Fights it off, and this will be a fair ball. Drops in safely. Martinez now decides to go to second, and he is safe. Avoided the tag, and it's a 5-0 St. Louis lead.
Not running hard out of the batter's box, and he got about 1 step in front of the first base bag and decided, I'm going to try for second base. And as you said, a great slide. He eludes it. Look at that swing. He's pulled his hands in, flares it, and of course, coming off the bat of a right-hander, it's going to slice away from Irvin. And we talked about he's got a strong throwing arm, and That's probably the best throw he's made, but with that good slide to the inside part of the infield side of second base, he's safe.
Initially, didn't look like he had any intention of going to second base.
Exactly.
It turns into an RBI double.
His 15th RBI leading the team.
And Tommy Pham scores another run. That's 2 today. Austin Bryce, a right-hander, starts to throw at the Reds bullpen.
I mean, doing the job of a leadoff hitter, isn't he? Been on base all 3 times, 2 for 2 and a walk, scored 2 runs, stole 3 bases.
Tommy Pham has scored 15 runs this year, and that now leads the National League. The 3-0 pitch, swinging away.
Trade places with him.
Cardinals about hit the Reds 6-1. Ozuna stays away from a pitch low. And Finnegan walks his 4th today. Pitches by inning for Finnegan. You thought if he was efficient this inning, you might have him go back out for the 6th, despite the fact that he's due up 4th. They've had to go to their bullpen a ton, but the other factor in that too is you're down now by 5, and you got to try to get some offense going too.
The pitching coach started to come out of the dugout, Jenkins, and then he motioned to Barnhart to go out and talk to Finnegan. Maybe that'll buy enough time for Bryce to get ready. That's it. Well, it has to be a disappointing first start of the year for Finnegan.
That'll be it for Finnegan. This will be our Chevy call to the pen. Austin Bryce, second appearance in this series, is coming up with 2 runners on, and Molina the batter. Dexter Fowler, plus a look at power hitting prospect Tyler O'Neill. He's off to a good start. He's either got 3 or 4 home runs already. Cardinals Insider with Ozzie Smith tomorrow before and after Cardinals baseball. That's right here on Fox Sports Midwest. Austin Bryce, his 7th appearance.
Yeah, he came in the game on Thursday night, faced Molina and induced a ground ball double play, but then he gave up a home run to Paul DeYoung, and Lott was the loser in that game Thursday night. He's lost his last 2 appearances.
Cardinals with 2 men on. Martinez at second base after his RBI double. Ozuna the walk, and that knocked out Finnegan, who walked 4 in today's ball game. And a strike. Always aggressive early in counts, it seems like, with Molina, and doesn't strike out very often. Puts the ball in play.
It seems like with men on base, he tries to use right field.
Lifted in the air out to center. It's Billy Hamilton. Gets himself in a position to throw, and the runners stay put. I know it's something small, and it should be done all the time, especially at this level. But an outfielder that backs up, runs into making the catch to get his momentum going forward. How many times do you see a guy flat-footed now?
Yeah, and you know, Billy Hamilton is a very good outfielder, and he's got a strong throwing arm, so he did it the proper thing. Martinez did the same thing. Both runners went back to the bag ready to tag up, but when he played it effectively like that, not standing flat-footed, had his momentum coming forward, that stops Martinez from running.
Harrison Bader, 1 for 2. Grounded out to second. Singled to left. Picked up his first steal and scored a run in inning number 4 on the RBI, the 2-run homer by Greg Garcia. There's strike 1. One ball and 1 strike. Two and 1.
See where Votto is. The first baseman so far off the line that Ozuna can get a real big lead.
Ball in the gap, should be able to score. Slipped on the pitch. Still pretty good action on that slider. 2-2.
Bryce was born in Hong Kong, China. Came from the Marlins in the Australia deal.
The 2-2 pitch. Tried to sneak that fastball in on his hands, and maybe he gets a slider on this pitch.
The way he swung at the last one, I would think that'd be a pretty good idea.
Outfield is straight away, fairly deep. There's the slider, and it strikes out Bader. Cardinals add to their lead with the RBI double from Jose Martinez. Yadier Molina has made some history today. And of all places, he does it in Cincinnati. What's it all about? Find out next. Cardinals have been running wild against the Reds, ironically enough, and Yadier Molina has made some history here today. Barnhart takes a ball a little bit low. Always say it, one of the most impressive, if not the most impressive aspect of his game, durability. Answers the bell every day, night after night, and he has passed Johnny Bench regular season innings all time behind the plate. He's going to wind up, barring injury, in the top 10 in innings caught before this season is through. An incredible accomplishment to pass the great Johnny Bench. That is ripped into deep right field, and Barnhart has himself a solo home run. And the Reds get on the board, his second of the year.
Miles gave up a couple home runs in his first game in Milwaukee. A small ballpark, and no doubter here for Barnhart. 95, stays up, inner hard, inner half, and he just turns on it. Oh. Guy walking into
right, and did he get it? No, they say he trapped it. That's Bader in right field, really trying to sell it. And the first base umpire immediately, Alan Porter, saying that was not a catch. Mike Matheny getting the attention of the home plate umpire to take a look.
Well, I think Bader's actions, like you said, he sold it well, but Alan Porter wasn't going to buy it. On a line drive like that, you know, an umpire really just turns and looks for it. And you can see that it was trapped, but a good sales job, but no Academy Award.
Clearly a trap. So the base hit by Irvin. And here is Cliff Pennington. So Harrison Bader getting a start against a lefty today. With more on Bader, let's check in with Jim.
Yeah, Bader making his third start of the season today. Still getting used to a bench role. He says staying in the game mentally is the key, and being brutally honest with yourself. He told me, I tell myself this all the time. You've been a starter your whole career. Nobody cares. Nobody cares you don't start. You're here to help this team win, whatever it takes. Dan, he told me, I have to pinch run, swipe a base, whatever. You better believe I'll be ready. That's an attitude right there.
Bader in that lineup today.
You know, he plays with a lot of confidence, and you can tell that the way he always dives, and really very good outfield.
And a strike to Pennington. It was interesting, the replay that we had in right field with the Cardinals trying to come back in a game against Milwaukee this past week. St. Louis won that game dramatic fashion, but if they didn't, there'd be a lot of talk about replay. To me, I thought it was a catch, ruled a base hit.
Sure looked like it, you know.
There's Gosselin, who's at the on-deck circle. He'll pinch hit for Bryce. One ball and two strikes. Pennington, a ground ball and a double play for 6-3 at the double play.
You know, Michaelis, for a big guy with the, he got a nice ground ball percentage. Give up a hit, keep a single, and then get that ground ball double play.
And with that, now Bryce will stay in the game.
About efficient Michaelis is. 53 pitches. Hopefully he can go one more pitch and complete his fifth inning.
And a strike.
The 0-2.
You always wonder if a pitcher like this that looks like they're going to pinch hit for you, if he doesn't mentally shut down and think his day is through. You won't know until he goes back out on the mound.
See it all the time with closers.
Sure.
Games that they think are out of reach. The 2-2. And he picks up the strikeout. 96 on the gun from Michaelis. The home run by Barnhart. And Miles is through 5. It's 5-1. Tuesday against Milwaukee. Bailey went Tuesday against the Phillies. And that's the matchup, barring bad weather, tomorrow afternoon.
See if the Cardinals tomorrow, if they play, can do what they've been doing in the first 3 games of this series, and that's hit home runs off a homer. That's worse than Bob Walk, a name of a pitcher.
There's Jairo Munoz. That was a look at your Budweiser What's on Tap. Munoz hits it off the end of the bat and into the Reds dugout. Miles Michaelis has allowed his 3 hits and 1 walk today. That was his first walk he's issued the entire year. Munoz 0 for 2.
Munoz has really had trouble striking out. 2 strikeouts today. That's 10 on the year for him. And 15 plate appearances. A great spring, made the ball club.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Bryce with that arm angle, you could see he'd be tough on right-handed batters with a pretty good slider. And a strikeout. 3rd time that Munoz has struck out today. Bryce has 2 on the afternoon. Well, the last time a lefty faced the Cardinals and gave up 2 home runs to a left-handed batter, it was Finnegan against Matt Carpenter. And that was until today. Greg Garcia with a pair of home runs, solo shot, and a 2-run homer against Finnegan.
Now, Carpenter and Finnegan both went to TCU.
That's right.
But didn't play together, right?
That's correct.
Carpenter's older. Have a day, Greg Garcia.
2 home runs. He's driven in 3 and shows bunt. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Bring a smile to Grandpa Dave Garcia, Greg's grandfather, former Major League manager, scout. He did everything in the game of baseball, including I played for the team that he took to the Caribbean World Series. He picked me up. We were playing in Mexico at that time.
People rave about him.
Oh, his grandfather's so special. One of the nicest men in all of baseball. 95, I think now.
Garcia hits it into right. He's 3 for 3. And this is extra bases. A pair of home runs. And now a double.
I loved what he did. He got halfway around first base and picked up Oquendo to see if he was going to wanted him to come for 3 or not. You may see it right here as it gets down, gets by Irvin, and watch about right now. He'll look and picks up Oquendo, and he says, "Right there's fine."
Here's Michaelis with 1 out, runner at second.
And you can see that the ball got by the right fielder, so you know you've got 2. But when you get to that point, you know it's kind of behind your back, and you don't want to turn around and look because that slows you down. So pick up your third base coach.
Miles Michaelis, to get through 5 pitches, or rather 5 innings, has only needed 58 pitches.
That's what he learned over in Japan. How to throw strikes, how to use his breaking ball, how to back off a little bit, and to be very efficient.
The strikeout. Barnhart gives Garcia a look. April 21st, that's a Saturday. 30,000 fans, 16 and older, receive the Dexter Fowler bobblehead courtesy of AAA Insurance.
Look at the likeness.
He loves it. Cardinals.com/promotions. Here's Tommy Pham. Bryce has struck out 3.
Have a day, Tommy Pham, too.
On base 3 times. Walked and scored in the first. Base hit to center in the third. Stole his 4th base of the year. And then a base hit to right and a run scored in the 5th, and also a stolen base, number 5. Rips it fair inside the third base line. Garcia will score. Pham on his way to second base. Have a day, Tommy Pham. It began as the leadoff man for the Cardinals this afternoon. Fowler sitting, Pham in the top spot. He walked and scored, base hit to center, stolen base number 4. That's in the 3rd inning. Then the base hit to right. He picked up stolen base number 5, this one of 3rd. And now the double inside the third base line that brings in Greg Garcia. A strike 2 to Young.
I mentioned on Thursday night when Bryce came in, he induced a inning-ending double play off the bat of Molina. Went out the next inning with a 4-4 tie, and Paul DeYoung hit that monster home run against him. He was the loser that night, and he lost the night before in Philadelphia.
Good play by Barnhart.
Barnhart last year, one of the things that they said is he blocked, I think it was something like 660 balls in the dirt.
There's a skill to doing that.
It sure is, and he did it perfectly. Now, he's not a real tall guy, so, but got down and blocked at it very well.
One ball, 2 strikes. The 1-2 pitch. The strikeout of DeYoung. Second time he has struck out over 3 on the day. Big afternoon for Tommy Pham. It's back to a 5-run lead. And win this opening series of the year against the Reds. Pham a big day. Greg Garcia, Michaelis, and all smiles for Cardinal fans. Billy Hamilton shoots it foul and out of play. Underway here in the bottom of the 6th. Rain has started to fall ever so lightly here at the ballpark.
I just checked my weather gauge, and it's supposed to rain for about 8 more minutes.
And then
not
what?
heavy. Then we got a break, and then it'll rain after that. Not heavy enough to stop it.
The curveball is hit out of play. A swing and a miss. A strikeout of Billy Hamilton. Matt Bowman directing air traffic and also stretching.
Very good, Dan.
I think those were bowling pins.
You never know today.
Some guys use the weighted baseballs and just throw them off the wall to get loose, as Michaelis flips it to Martinez, and Peraza for 3. And this could be another very quick and efficient inning for Miles Michaelis. 2 outs, 5 pitches.
Makes a difference, doesn't it?
Boy, oh boy. It's gotten to the point I can't wait to watch this guy pitch.
I agree. I agree.
And for any of us that were down in spring training and watched the first 2 starts, you thought, uh-oh. But he settled in, relaxed. And that was part of the problem in talking with those that are close to him.
You know, pitching at home, coming back to the United States, pitching at home. He lives in Jupiter.
Good play again by Michaelis. Knocks it down, steps and throws. 7 pitches in the 6th inning for Miles Michaelis. 6-1. donate $1,000 to the Make-A-Wish Foundation of Missouri. Dylan Floro is the new pitcher in for Cincinnati. This is our Chevy call to the pen. He'll get 3, 4, and 5 in the lineup. Martinez, Ozuna, and Molina.
Landino goes in to play shortstop. Floro was recalled yesterday, and there you see Blandino.
First pitch is taken low. Caught Barnhart. 1 ball and 1 strike. Jose Martinez, RBI double back in inning number 5. 1 for 2 with a walk today. Oh boy.
That's all you can say, huh? That's not what he's saying.
The pitch of his voice is
a little higher.
A little higher after that. Tough position. Day after day to play catcher in the big leagues. The 2-1 to Martinez. Out of play. I asked Mike Matheny yesterday in our meeting prior to the first pitch, have you talked to any of your peers about Martinez, or did they ask you, where did this guy come from? How has this happened? He said he gets some of that. Blandino, wow, what a play. Robs Jose Martinez. That's a terrific play there.
Yeah, just walking into the game and getting a real tester right there. Look where he's at, and backhands it, that little slide, and pop up and throw him out. And he threw him out by plenty.
The only thing I can think of, Al, is, you know, you get to your mid to late 20s, if you haven't hit the big leagues, the rap is, well, you just haven't been good enough and you won't get better. And maybe you're that that AAA plus player, not quite a big leaguer, good minor leaguer, but that has not been the case with Jose Martinez. There's a fly ball into right. Ozuna slams his bat, and the catch is made.
You know, Martinez was a real prospect early in his career, but then when he injured his knee and really set him out for a while, and end up having surgery, and he's playing with a cadaver meniscus in his knee. You know, I think a lot of people said, well, he's just not going to do it. And he hit for average, but he didn't have any power. And he kind of come up here and decided, he was taught about launch angles, and now he's, still can hit for the high average, but now he's starting to hit some balls out of the ballpark and take advantage of that big frame. 6'7", you don't see a lot of, really good hitters with that tall and rangy. I'm sure a lot of people look at how much movement he has when he's in the batter's box and say, well, you'll never hit that way.
Well, you think with a tall guy, there'd be a lot of holes in his swing.
Exactly.
Could pitch to him. Here's a 1-1. Out of play off the bat of Molina. 0 for 3 today.
And Martinez was a .294 minor league hitter in 890 games. 3,254 at bats in the minor leagues before he got called up. Great story.
I think what makes it great and you appreciate it, his attitude. You know, you ask him, why weren't you called up by Kansas City and winning a batting title? And he said, well, that's just the way it went.
I did ask him that. He hit 384 at Omaha and won the Pacific Coast League batting title and didn't get called up that year. And his response was, well, they were fighting for the pennant. They were going to end up going to the World Series, and they went with a veteran player. So I understood. It was a little more understanding than I think we would have had.
Me for sure.
I'm with you.
I mean, at that point, that's when you say, what else do I need to do? And,
exactly.
You know, am I ever going to get my shot?
And maybe they did us a favor because they really pretty much gave him to the Cardinals the next year.
Three-two pitch. In the air to right field. Phillip Ervin with the catch. Time to stretch on a rainy day here in the Queen City. Statue of Tony Perez. He's back with the organization here in 2018. So efficient throughout this afternoon. He may go the distance. We'll see how it all unfolds, but he has struck out 4 and allowed just 3 hits.
I think it's 65 pitches, 42 of them have been strikes. And like I said, he's got stuff in reserve. You know, he can deal at a higher velocity with his fastball, but just get enough to where he's throwing strikes, changing speeds, got a very good curveball. And he's just out there, you know, and the one thing that's helping him now is he's getting the ground balls. Second start, you know, he started, his ground ball percentage went way up, and it's right there again today.
And a lot of first pitch strikes. That one drops into Scooter Gennett.
Just 2 fly ball outs.
Gennett is 1 for 2. Kyle Dingus, longtime front office employee of the Cardinals. Well, his better half, Amy Dingus, celebrating her 40th birthday and watching Cardinals baseball today. Happy birthday to Amy. And a base hit into left field. 2-hit day for Scooter Gennett. He has half of the Reds' hits today. Be a hit this season with an adult Cardinals mesh pullover. Friday, April 20th, 30,000 fans 16 and older. Take home a one-of-a-kind navy pullover jersey featuring the vintage Cardinals chest logo. It's courtesy of AT&T, and tickets at cardinals.com/promotions.
Scooter Gennett turned into a good ball player.
Sure has. Here's Adam Duvall, 6-1 Cardinals. Back in the 5th, it was a solo home run to start the inning. Then Phillip Ervin, hard hit, base hit to right. But then Michaelis got the double play to strike out, and all was done.
And we talk about all the ground balls he's getting. Might try and get one right here and let his defense turn another one for him.
Gets the ground ball. Tough play here. It's gloved by Munoz, and he's got a very strong arm. Nice play.
So they want to take a look at this one. And
I didn't quite understand this in talking with Jose Martinez. I said sometimes you're trying to sell that play at first base. And I said, why do that with replay? And the point being is that close plays will be replayed anyway to see if you're on the bag. And his point was he's still taught to do this in case teams are out of challenges. So still try to sell the play, which makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense because of both sides make sense. But
into right, Bader diving catch. What a play by Harrison Bader in right field. Well, that's a good play.
I mentioned he likes to leave his feet, but you know he does it when he has to. And I've never seen a ball get by him. A lot of times it'd be a shoestring catch. Or he's in a position that gets up. He's aware of that runner at second base and doesn't allow him to advance.
What I've noticed is that he gets really good jumps on the ball, whether he's in center or in right, but especially in center.
And, you know, in this case here, you know, he just plays with so much confidence. McGee really likes Harrison Bader and thinks that he's going to really develop into an outstanding regular outfielder.
I asked Willie early in spring who has stood out for you, and all the outfielders that the Cardinals have. Rosarena, Adolis Garcia. And he said this Bader guy, he's going to be a good player. Does a lot of the little things.
Oh boy, we saw in spring training the reason why the Cardinals were able to trade so many outfielders. Grichuk, Piscotty.
You'd have to think that the young players at AAA are a phone call away.
And I think the Cardinals disappointed. You mentioned Tyler O'Neill, that they didn't get to see him, you know, because he was hurt just about the entire spring. Tyler O'Neill in the trade for Marco Gonzalez, and he combined to hit 31 home runs at AAA a year ago.
Here's a 1-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Phillip Ervin.
.75 pitches and hopefully one more to get out of the 7th inning.
That's hit out of play. Michaelis reminds me of a guy that can spot it, a soft tossing right-hander like a Jeff Suppan, except the only point that doesn't match up is that he can throw 98 if he needs to.
Exactly.
I mean, he's really spotting the ball in and out, mixing speeds, eye level. It's fun to watch a guy work like this.
Well, he's wearing 39, that's why.
Always comes back to you, Al. You never talked that highly about Dave McKay, who also wanted 39.
Oh, I didn't.
Let Dave know about that in Arizona.
Well, see, you're bringing back a guy that I, pitched against, so why give him credit? Canadian Hall of Famer.
Ooh, he just missed. 3-2. Plaza Tire Fox Tracks.
Just missed right 96 right down.
walked him. Runners at first and second. A pitch down and in to Cliff Pennington. Two balls and no strikes.
It's the deepest any Cardinal starter has gone this year, right?
Martinez pitched into the ninth in Milwaukee.
Oh, that's right.
The 2-0. And Carlos will go tomorrow for the Cardinals. Not for the air on Munoz.
Right, complete game.
Yeah. 11:30 tomorrow on Fox Sports Midwest. And a liner that's caught. DeYoung with the backhanded snare of the line drive off the bat of Pennington. Harrison Bader.
I'm telling you, Dan, a lot of times you don't want to play a bad ball club or a rebuilding club early in the year, because if they get off to that good start, they think they're better than they are and don't have the injury bug to where their depth will eventually expose them. They could be a handful.
Atlanta is 8-5 to start their year. It's a broken bat. A fly ball into shallow right that's caught by Irvin. Story though of the National League East. The Mets, they are 11-1.
Well, we talk about if they got their pitching, they're going to be a handful, and they've added some experienced bats.
Washington is 6-8. You'd have to figure before it all is said and done. They're right in the thick of things. Cardinals trying to go to 8-7 as Munoz swings and misses. He has struck out 3 times. 0 for 3. Arizona leading the West. They are 10-3. And the Reds currently with the worst record in the game, 2-11.
This pitcher has been on waivers a couple different times in his career, signed a minor league contract with the Reds.
Does have major league experience with the Cubs and Tampa Bay. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Tampa Bay in 16, 12 relief appearances. Then Chicago last season, just 3 relief appearances.
Two and 2. Full count on Munoz. Twice struck out swinging. Last time up looking. Full count delivery. Lines it to third. Take a look at our Budweiser plays of the game. It's been a big day for Greg Garcia. Off of Finnegan in the second, solo home run. Then in the fourth, this 2-run homer. In the sixth, a double and a run scored. He's 3 for 3.
First ever multi-home run game. First home run ever off the left-hander. He got him twice.
Slaps it the other way. Strong throw from Pennington to get Greg Garcia. Cardinals go quietly in the top of the 8th. And it's 6-1. Today, and he will come in with the Cardinals leading 5-run lead with Chevy Cole to the pen. The walks an issue and an inning and a third. 5 walks from Greg Holland.
4 straight walks in his first appearance for the Cardinals. Then he walked the first man in his second, but perfect opportunity, bring him in here and kind of get a tune up. Even though Mike Matheny told us yesterday that, you know, he wouldn't have any problems bringing him in the 9th inning, I didn't think it was such a big deal to have Norris pitch the 9th inning last night, because Holland still is, you know, like going through spring training.
0-2. Landino, first plate appearance. Bud Norris struck out the side last night to pick up his second Cardinal save. Make no mistake, he was brought in though to close games. Holland.
Yeah, and I think it'll be a short time before he starts doing that. But you know, as Mike said, we aren't going to use him back to back for a little while, so you're going to need Norris and Gregerson and whoever else out there to.
In the air, near the line, and Bader with the catch. Cardinals baseball is brought to you by Budweiser. Wherever legendary MLB moments happen, Budweiser will be there. By Steel Outdoor Power Equipment. Pick your power, fuel, or battery with Steel. Search STIHL. And by Ford, going further so you can.
Greg Holland, 340 save seasons since 2013. That joins Kenley Jansen of the Dodgers, the only relievers to do that.
Miles Michaelis, 7 innings, 1 run, 4 hits, struck out 4. He walked 2 and gave up a home run. That was it. The home run to Tucker Barnhart in inning number 5. Devin Mesoraco at the on-deck circle. 1 ball, 1 strike on Hamilton. 0 for 3 today. Pair of strikeouts and a ground out. Good late movement there.
Well, he's got 186 saves and 206 opportunities. 3-time All-Star. And the closer on a World Championship team. But didn't have spring training, so this is kind of his spring training.
And a swing and a miss. A strikeout for Holland. He's got the first 2.
Watch this swing.
Look at that movement on that pitch.
Yeah.
First strikeout as a Cardinal for Greg Holland. Here's Devin Mesoraco.
Tied for the league lead in saves, 41 a year ago for Colorado. That's the first year coming off of Tommy John surgery.
Mesoraco is the starter in game 2, and last night he went deep off of Luke Weaver. Pinch hitting for Floro, who had 2 scoreless innings for the Reds.
How about Weaver's start and Michaelis' start today? Got something going there, don't you?
Oh, yeah. Martinez, your number 1, going tomorrow.
Going tomorrow. I thought Wainwright in his last start, you know, he gave up only 3 runs. Cardinal offense is supposed to win those ball games.
Jordan Hicks, who started to throw in the Cardinals' pen, and the 2-1. Boy, he's got some late movement.
Yeah.
Here's Hicks. This is where the Cardinals, before it's all said and done, could be dominant with their bullpen. Gregerson, you would think, joins the club at some point next week. Holland, your closer. Hicks throwing 100+. But Norris has done a nice job. Went down to get it, and a base hit. Mesoraco stopping at first base.
Think about this, Dan. You know, okay, Holland gets through the 8th inning here, and he's going to be a 1-inning pitcher, so you take him out. You give the 9th to Hicks. And good piece of hitting right there. Go down and get that ball, lift it. He's hit well in this series, Mesoraco. But I think that Jordan Hicks, you give him a few of these 9th innings, it's not going to, you know, not going to be a save opportunity with if maintain a 5-run lead. But I think it's important to be out there to finish some ball games. Get those handshakes when you're out there getting the 27th out. It's so important for the development of a young man. You know, you sit there and go, it feels pretty good. And then that's what you strive for.
Strike to Votto. 0 for 3 today. Joey Votto, think of all the walks, great batting eye, obviously a terrific hitter. He reached base 321 times last year. That led all of Major League Baseball. That's an incredible amount.
He's an incredible hitter. He's as good as any left-handed hitter in the game today.
One ball and 2 strikes.
You agree with that?
Yeah, I mean, he's in the conversation, if not
think of the hitters,
preeminent lefty.
Yeah, hitters of this era. You know, you think of Cabrera and Pujols, all right hand.
Trout. Altuve.
Yeah, Altuve.
Holland flips over to first, and Votto, a rare 0 for 4, sends us to the 9th. Reds need some work. Couple of days rest. This guy's good.
He's as good as any closer in the league. Converted from starter, and he's found a niche in that bullpen. Nasty, nasty stuff.
And the 1-0 pitch to Colton Wong. Iglesias was originally a starter, defected from Cuba, signed by the Reds. Then they moved him to the bullpen, and they saw a major increase in his velocity. That's pulled foul. Also a very good slider, especially tough on right-handed batters. It's tapped foul. Cardinals hitting just 191, 9 for 56 against Iglesias, and Wong is hit by the pitch.
Just that foot up. Right above the ankle, the right leg on the calf area.
Here's Tommy Pham on base 4 times today. Used this afternoon as the Cardinals leadoff man. Fowler had the day off, so did Carpenter. And there's a strike. Walked and scored in the first. Singled in the third. Stole his 4th base. Singled in the 5th. Stole his 5th base. Scored a run. And then picked up a RBI double. 1 ball, 1 strike.
How nice is it to give 3 of your regulars rest and still come out here and score 6 runs and put yourself in position to win another ball game?
He has 1 4-hit game in his career. That was against the Atlanta Braves last year. It was right when he was called up. Good slider, struck him out.
Drops down sidearm a little bit.
Paul DeYoung 0 for 3 with a walk today, pair of strikeouts. Last year is any indication, there's going to be stretches like this for DeYoung. Just gets in a little bit of a funk, strikeouts pile up, and then when he gets out of it, you better watch out. Not only reaching base, but doing damage. But right now, this is where he finds himself a lot. 0-2, 1-2.
And then he's very vulnerable to a breaking ball on the outside part of the plate in these situations, and Iglesias with that good slider may get it right here. Fastball away. Didn't want the fastball in. But wasting that fastball to throw the slider now, maybe.
There's the slider, and a high fly ball lifted out to left. Got it off the end of the bat. Catch is made. Wong back to the bag at first, and there's 2 away.
Exactly right, Dan. He got it right off the end of the bat. I think Paul had an idea with that 0-2 fastball away that he'd get the slider on the 1-2. Need Martinez to save an at bat for Ozuna and try to extend his batting streak.
Jose Martinez walked in the 2nd, RBI double in the 5th, fly to right and grounded out. The 1-0. Jordan Hicks plenty loose now, and he has the bottom of the 9th.
Looks like he's worried, doesn't he?
2-1.
That's a good sign because a lot of young kids would just be throwing. Get ready, back off.
3-1. And a chance for Ozuna to extend the hitting streak. He'll come up for the 5th time today. A 2-out walk to Jose Martinez, who's walked twice. Cardinals, there's 6 runs, 4 have come with 2 outs.
For 2, a walk and a sac fly.
And ball 1.
12th game hitting streak on the line for Ozuna.
Little flare out to shallow left, but that'll be caught. Hicks coming on when we come back. Hicks trying to finish this one off in a non-save situation. And the Cardinals trying to make it 3 wins in a row after a disappointing opening homestand and winning 2 out of 6. Those were the numbers on Hicks. Our Chevy called to the pen, and this young man has been fun to watch.
Really has thrown the 8th fastest pitches in baseball this year. He's got a 0 ERA. You give up 1 unearned run.
Just something about speed and power in the game of sports, you know.
Well, we've seen kids throw 100 miles an hour, but we haven't seen 100-mile-an-hour sinkers. And then with a very effective breaking pitch. And Dan, he really hasn't seemed like he's been in awe of the 9th inning.
No, sir. Jeanette lines it into left for a leadoff base hit. 3-hit day for Scooter Jeanette. I would assume that's the approach you have to have with Hicks. Just try to barrel it any way you can.
Right. For a guy that throws as hard as he does, he appears to have pretty good control.
Fastball and slider. He does have a change. He was using that as a starter in the minor leagues.
Yeah, but you don't need it coming out of the bullpen like with his stuff. You know, why give him a chance to hit you?
Adam Duvall, fastball and a strike at 96. But you know what I mean? You watch guys that can hit for power or throw triple digits, they become must-see TV type players.
Absolutely.
No matter the score.
And like I said, with a young pitcher like this, that that down the road, could be your closer. It's good to give him some ninth inning work.
And a double play ball. Oh, it's a bad hop on Munoz.
And Hicks, with that sinker that he has, it gets a lot of ground balls, and unfortunately it's a little bad luck with this one here. Takes a bad hop right off his chest. He's getting in position to where he could try and make the throw to second to start the double play.
Ruled an error on Munoz, his second this season. And here's Barnhart, home run back in the 5th. Also was robbed by Harrison Bader on a diving catch in right. Bud Norris starts throwing in the Cardinals' pen. One hit to the right side. Garcia to DeYoung to first. And Mike Matheny will get the attention of the home plate umpire. Runners at first and third now. And one down.
Very close play at first.
It's Mike Schilt, longtime manager in the minor leagues for the Cardinals, now a bench coach.
He wasn't hit hard, but it's a catcher running. Looks like he's safe.
No challenge by the Cardinals. Here's Phillip Ervin. He's walked, he is singled. Looks at a slider and a strike.
Dan, in many ways, this, you want to see every pitcher go out there and never give up a base runner, but in some ways too, you want to see the poise of Hicks. Get a little jam, see what he can do. You see if he shows signs of weakness, or is he just going to attack the zone like he just did?
Mike Matheny's talked about that, with sometimes having young players in spring training in particular.
Absolutely.
Face adversity, not the worst thing. Here's the 0-2.
This game's easy if everything goes right, but what happens when you're out there and you struggle a little bit? Do you bow your neck or do you give up?
Good play by Molina.
Runner at third base, breaking ball and he just overthrows it. But as a pitcher, you have to have that confidence that if you throw a ball in the dirt, the catcher's going to block it. And obviously the Cardinal pitchers know that Yachty will block it.
2-2 pitch. Pennington at the on-deck circle.
I haven't really watched all the pitches for velocity, but I think 98's been the hardest. There we are, 98, 82, breaking ball.
And the 3-2. Ground ball that's foul. the Cardinals can hold on, this would be the 8th straight road win in Cincinnati for the Cardinals.
Remember, they lost the first 5 and they won the last 5 here in Cincinnati a year ago.
Upstairs, bases loaded. A single in the air on Munoz. Fielder's choice, a walk, bases loaded. Here's Mike Maddox.
No, he's going to go out, slow him down. Watch him take his right arm, put it on his shoulder. He gave him 2 arms. Just a little pat. Talk about it. You know, hey, we got dinner reservations in half hour, so let's kind of get this thing going right now.
Pretty early dinner, though.
It's only 21.
Get him to bed.
Get to bed early, yeah. Day game tomorrow.
Just like you as a young man.
Oh yeah.
Jeanette.
Somewhere in the world it was early.
Barnhart and Irvin on the bases. Here's Cliff Pennington with the bases loaded. The slider taken low. One ball, one strike. Out of play. 1-2. Struck him out on the inside corner. First strikeout for Jordan Hicks today. And with that, there are 2 down.
Like Yachty wanted away, and it's on the inside part, but 99 miles an hour. Sometimes you wonder how hitters can let fastballs go by with 2 strikes.
Alex Blandino with the bases loaded. The first pitch is strike as Yachty frames that beautifully.
Breaking ball right there. If and when he gets this final out here without them scoring, and then Mike Matheny says, this is what I wanted to see. I want to see what he would do with the bases loaded. Would he, get it loaded himself? Of course, the error didn't help, but can you work your way out of it? And when he does, Mike files that and said, hey, we're going to do it again. Put you in a high leverage situation without this big a lead.
Fastball, and it's 1-2, and that hits triple digits. Seen Yachty call for that slider a lot. Last couple of appearances here from Hicks. Previous pitch, obviously a fastball, but let's see what he wants on 1-2.
Well, everybody knows about his triple digits. So you're gearing up. You're looking for that high octane where you expose yourself to a breaking ball. So it's just part of getting people out. You have to do it more than one pitch because, like you said, there's a lot of guys in the league that can throw triple digits down. But normally when he throws it, he's got movement. A lot of guys throw it as straight as an arrow.
The 2-2 pitch hit out of play. 99 on the gun.
Really looks worried out there, doesn't he?
Just thinking that as our director Tom Mee got that camera shot tight on his face. Not a lot of emotion from Jordan Hicks.
That's a good sign. This goes about his business.
2-2 pitch. Popped up. Shallow right. And Bader is there. 6-1 the final. Little fist pump from Harrison Bader. The Cardinals are above 500. They're 8-7. They have won 3 straight overall. And here in Cincinnati, they have won 8 in a row. Nice win for the Cardinals.
Yeah, 6-3 on the road right now. This ball club coming together in another part of the maturation process for Hicks.
6-1 the final. Coming up, the post-game show, Missouri Lottery, Cardinals Live.